everybody. Welcome to this week's Best and Worst. This is the series where we like to talk about a favorite talent of ours and what we think is the best and their worst of their career. And this is to give you a little taste of the Hidden Gems podcast. This is a shorter video. So hopefully, if you like it, you will check out the longer video slash podcast where we talk about streaming services and we give you some hidden gem picks. And I'm not alone in doing this. I'm focused on Rachel Wagner, and Ryan is here.
Hey, Rachel, so great to be back with you again. And today we're going to be talking about Nicolas Cage, the walking
Yes.
meme himself. And I think I think his meme status has clouded the fact that he's actually a very good actor. I mean, the dude has won an Oscar, for goodness sakes, for Leaving Las Vegas. Like he's been in Ford Coppola movies. He's been everywhere, and he's one of those actors that is frequently looked at like, oh, he's in another direct-to-DVD movie again. But people forget when he is on, he is absolutely just like he is on every single time.
Yeah, I mean, he had a period where he was in some major tax problems, and so he basically took anything that he was offered. I mean, I haven't even seen a lot of those movies, but but yeah, I
Or
mean, he would just do like these faith-based films and just some of these just really, really bad. And because he has the like so bad it's good kind of movies, but then he has a bunch of just like genuinely terrible
mm,
movies. And sometimes you gotta pay your taxes, so I get it. But then he'd also do your Oscar caliber films. He's done the National Treasure movies, which are a lot of fun.
which are awesome, by the way.
Yeah,
They're
which
they're
are
not they're not any of my best because I know exactly what they are, but
mhm.
at the same time, they're still a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and he's also done voice work, such as in the Croods movies or in the Ant Bully or other things like that. And he's done comedy, Raising Arizona. That is very high up my list. I really love that movie. So he really does have of a lot of variety in his roles. He was in Into the Spider Verse. He so there's just a lot going on with Nicolas Cage.
Spider Noir. I like egg creams.
That's right.
That was an
So,
inspired choice. The casting
yeah,
director on that
perfect.
movie needed a raise 5 times over, but
Yeah.
that's for the entire cast, not just Cage. But that's neither here nor there.
So my favorite Nicolas Cage role is really one of my favorite movies, period. One of his earlier roles is playing Ronnie Camilleri in Moonstruck, and I love Moonstruck. It is one of those movies that feels like a play. It's kind of written like a play, but I love all of the characters so much, and I think that Cher and Nick Cage have such amazing chemistry when they have the big fight and he says, "Yeah, you're a wolf," and it is such an incredible moment. And you would cut off your own hand. I love the way it uses opera. I love the Limpy Dukakis and her scenes with John Mahoney. And how they talk about how they figure out men and why men behave the way they do. And so yeah, I love Moonstruck. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. So it had to be my favorite of Nicolas Cage. And he's crazy in it. He's like a madman, but
Oh, you
very
don't say.
sexy. Yeah, that's right.
I've never seen this movie. All I know about it is that it was directed by Norman Jewison, who directed one of my favorite movies of all time, Fiddler on the Roof. So,
And
the man,
people often I see Cher in the list of like undeserving Oscar winners. Nope, I disagree. I think she totally deserved it. I think it was a great performance, and so I will fight on that hill till the day I die. And Olivia Dukakis deserved it too. She was great in that film.
yeah, and Norman Jewison also directed a really underrated Denzel Washington movie called The Hurricane, which tying
Mm,
that all back to our Denzel Washington video a couple weeks back.
yeah. So, what is your best of Nicolas Cage?
So my best of Nicolas Cage, and this is a bit of a left turn, but my best of Nicolas Cage is The Rock. Now, I know what you all are going to say. It's a Michael Bay movie. I am fully aware that it is a Michael Bay movie. However, I think it's the best Michael Bay movie at the same time. This was around the time when Michael Bay was just coming off of being one of the best music video and commercial directors of all time, and he was spotted by Jerry Bruckheimer and Don Simpson, and he was like, "That's our next guy." And they were largely correct for a good amount of time. But The Rock is not just about it's not just about these disgruntled military guys taking over Alcatraz and just being like, we took it over, rah, rah, rah. There's actually a good amount of story in there. And there's a surprising amount of there's a surprising amount of nobility to not only the Ed Harris character, but to the Nicolas Cage character as
Mhm.
well, because his whole story arc throughout that whole movie, going from just this rando guy who's like this much power to just casually shooting guys with rockets out the window, it's not rushed, it's not done poorly, it's actually done very effectively. And when people say that Michael Bay is this hack director, it's largely true, but I also point to The Rock and being like, he also did this, and this is really good. I and so I think objectively Nicolas Cage's best performance is Leaving Las Vegas, but the one that I always come back to is The Rock. He's really good at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an entertaining action movie for sure. It's kind of it's definitely a little nutty, but enjoyable. And yeah, he had a nice little period of action movies with Face Off, Con Air, The Rock, Boom Boom Boom, and I think it's an enjoyable. It's probably the best of those three.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
in what other movie are you going to see a Hummer chase a Ferrari? None. The 90s were crazy, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. So for the worst of Nicolas Cage, it is a deep well that you continually can draw off of. Like I said, I haven't seen some of his bad movies. Like I know that he was in a faith-based film that's supposed to be so
Oh, Left
terrible.
Behind. Left
Left
Behind.
Behind. Yeah, so he was in Left Behind, and evidently that's just absolutely terrible. I believe it. I haven't seen it. So for me, I think the worst I have ever seen, and yes, it has some so bad it's good qualities, but is The Wicker Man. It is absolutely terrible.
What a shock, Rachel. That's my worst.
Oh, really?
And I think I get why this movie is loved in an ironic sense. This is one of those so bad it's amazing movies, but I am unfortunately burdened with the knowledge of this is a remake of a British film called The Wicker Man. I actually
Yeah.
watched it
Oh,
last
you did?
October, and it is excellent. It's very low budget, and it's very like crude, especially by 2021 standards, but Christopher Lee is amazing in that movie, and just it's so tension filled, and it builds and builds and builds and builds. It's like a Hitchcock movie, but like 1/8 the budget. It is excellent. The
Yeah.
Wicker Man takes all the subtlety and nuance and throws it out the window, and instead for Nicolas Cage going, how to get burned, how to get burned, how to get burned, and somehow getting in a bear suit and punching a woman in the face, which is amazing, but in the context of the movie makes no
It's
sense at all. It
ridiculous.
just it's that moment's silly, but when you actually put brain cells to it, you're just like, this is a great movie that is being dragged through the mud by a director, Neil LaBute, who directed a movie called In the Company of Men, where Aaron Eckhart and this other guy terrorize a deaf chick. But that's another
Oh,
rant for another
oh my
time.
gosh. And it
This
feels
Wicker Man, this Wicker Man movie is god awful, and you can watch it in, like I said, in a so bad it's good, like funny Schadenfreude sense. But I am unfortunately have the knowledge of The Wicker Man is one of the more underrated horror movies ever made, period. And you took that and you just made surface level
yeah.
jokes, and you just gave like Nick Cage like -1 intelligence, and like looking at a bag, a bloody bag, and he's just like, "What's in there? A shark?" And like, sure, off the coast of Scotland. Yeah, there's tons of sharks there, man. Like,
Well, and
seriously.
this I've never seen this Kate Behan, I guess is her name, that plays his girlfriend. And she's so bad. Like I'm sure she's a loving human, but she is so bad. And so it's not just him. This So yeah, let us know what you think of Nicolas Cage and what's your favorite of his and least favorite in the comment section. And Ryan, where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at RyanCam20. Then there's, of course, my YouTube channel, which is just called Ryan Cam. We're recording this on a Monday, which means yesterday, Sunday, I released my first reaction to Kiki's Delivery Service. Spoiler alert, I really liked it, and it may be my favorite Ghibli movie that I've watched so far. And then on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, I'll be releasing a video on Cabaret, the Bob Fosse musical for the AFI project. Wednesday, I'll be talking about a very underrated action movie called Hana. Thursday, I'll be talking about Network, the classic black comedy for the AFI project. And then this coming Sunday, I'll be doing a big retrospective on Better Call Saul and how I think it is the best television prequel of all time. So if you have not checked me out, I do highly recommend that you check me out. I put a lot of time and effort into the channel, and I'm just so happy with where it is now. And this rocket ship is just going higher and higher. So check me out if you haven't.
Guys, you should all take a look and also make sure to check out our longer Hidden Gems episode on Amazon Prime that we did this week. I would love to have your thoughts on that. So you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. And also, you can find me at the Hallmarkies Podcast. Lots of good stuff going on over there as well. And so, thanks so much, everybody, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
And in the words of Nick Cage from Kick Ass, good call, baby doll.
That's right.